So I've come to another realization, and this one has to do with our American government. The system is broken, and we all know this. In fact, so many people know it that at this point it's become a near truism. For the majority of my life I've held to the opinion that in order to fix the system it would have to be torn down. But I now realize that to tear down the system when we need it and we don't have anything to replace it with, that's pretty foolish. I just don't see the wisdom in tearing down the system when we don't have any alternatives to put in its place. And, I've never really been one for revolution. Unless, of course, it's the type of revolution where everybody just decides, you know what, fuck you, we're not going to work, and then sit outside on their lawn in a lawn chair and not do shit until we get what we want. That's the sort of revolution that would get things done, and not a single person need be killed to get it done. Money is so exalted in our society that any movement that truly threatened the income of the very powerful would force them to effect change. Else, they'd lose it all. But we'd have to be willing to spiral down into chaos and dragging them with us for change to really happen. That'd be the effect of everybody not working all at once, There would be a form of chaos, as the powerful would realize that they have nothing to do to stop this form of protest. If we were all just willing to put our foot down and say, we'd rather watch it all fall apart than keep playing these destructive economic games with you people in power. We'd rather it all be lost than keep living in a system that does what this system does. Then we'd see some change. It's the only way we'd really be able to make a statement. But, of course, most people say that'll never happen. That's the issue. Now, it may be true that we won't be able to get everybody in the country to do this, but, this is the kind of thing that Coney 2012's viral video strategy would be very good for, actually. Short burst of fuck the system for a few days by a massive population. Of course, with clear demands set forth. The more revolutionary side of the Occupy coin, and on a grander scale. That sort of thing is idealistic, but it's also the basic core of what I've been talking about a lot recently. We have to believe that people can and potentially will do these things if the right set of circumstances and causes came up. It would have to be a grand movement and with a lot of people willing to make a full-on stand for these ideas and willing to endure hardship in order to make these ideals come true. It would happen if people actually banded together, and we have to believe that they can do it. If we don't believe that they can do it, then what's the point of any of this? That's something that quite a few people miss, from what I can tell. You have to believe in the cause that you advocate, and you have to believe that it can be achieved. Many people advocate these ideas, but then they'll turn right around and say that they don't believe it's possible. How does that help anyone? I get that it's hard to believe that people can band together to make change. But if you don't believe it, how can you expect to convince anybody else to believe in it? It's part of that whole leading by example thing I've been talking about lately. You have to have, dare I say it, the faith to believe the best of others, and to believe that they can actually rise up for a good cause and make change happen. If you won't even believe in your fellow humans, how can you ask them to be more than they are now? But yeah, I'll go ahead and say it. We have to have faith in our fellow humans if we want to help them become better people. It is so very difficult to believe in people with their track record of bad deeds and selfishness, but we have to believe in them if we want them to grow. It's just like with any individual person. They can change on their own or work hard to make something happen, but it helps them to know that there's someone else believing in them and rooting for them. I'm not condemning people who have trouble believing in others, because I too have trouble with that sometimes. It's difficult to have faith in your fellow man, but if you ask me, that's one of the keys of this process. Someone has to stand up and tell everyone that they can become more than they are now, and that we believe in them. It may not seem like that much at all, but to some people out there, I know that these words would mean the world. There have been numerous news stories about people about to commit massacres who are thwarted by, what? The police? Someone fighting them off and beating them down? Sure. But the most telling to me are the stories where a child or a dog will just walk up to them and show them an ounce of compassion, after which they immediately turn themselves in. And that's why I believe it's important that we believe in our fellow humans and to overcome our own doubts about the possibility for these things to occur. They do occur, and we can make them happen on a much grander scale. We just have to start small. We have to change ourselves, if we want to change the world. Long days and pleasant nights. Money is so exalted in our society that any movement that truly threatened the income of the Money is so exalted in our society that any movement that truly But I now realize that to dare down the system with the DARE program that's going to destroy the whole system because nobody will use drugs anymore. We all know that's true.